Could the New York Giants look to trade for JJ McCarthy? Yeah, you heard that right. On today's show, we got a mailbag coming up where we are going to answer this question. That mailbag was actually filmed early on this week during our live show, but a brand new report surrounding JJ McCarthy and a potential trade has come out, and Adam Schefter says that teams will be checking in. And I assume he's talking about teams that need a quarterback, and the New York Giants, they fall on that short list. This was his full quote on ESPN Radio. In a limited quarterback draft class where there are far more teams that need quarterbacks than there are quarterbacks who can actually step in right away, I definitely think teams will be checking in with the Vikings to see if they have any interest in trading JJ McCarthy. And look, we've talked about this on the channel before during our live shows, and I also agree that the Minnesota Vikings will listen to trade calls regarding McCarthy because they've got a decision to make. Are they going to pay Sam Darnold, who might lead them to the Super Bowl, might lead them to the number one seed in the NFC? Yeah, that seems like a smart path for them to travel down. Pay the guy that got you there. Or do you just let Sam Darnold walk and then turn to JJ McCarthy? I think it's probably a little more likely, especially the deeper the Vikings go in the playoffs, that Darnold is the guy, and maybe they just trade J.J. McCarthy. Or they hold on to him and sign Darnold to a 2 or 3 year deal, and then there's a natural passing of the torch to McCarthy. But these trade rumors are going to continue to heat up, and I've got more on McCarthy going as a potential trade target to the New York Giants coming up in a second. But I want to hear from you first. If you could pick any of these three quarterbacks, who would you want to be the signal caller for Big Blue? Type JJ for McCarthy, S for Shedeur Sanders, or C for Cam Ward. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're tuned in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and I have been waiting a little bit to talk about this here subject. Let's go to my man, Justin, a loyal viewer of the show. Hashtag Giants. What up, Marsh? I have a question. What would be your alternative option if we hypothetically don't pick in the top 3 of the draft? How do you feel about making a trade for JJ McCarthy? It's a really interesting idea. I put a tweet out 2 weeks ago saying, would you trade pick number 2 for JJ McCarthy? I think 500 people responded. I think 500 people said no. And no, I would not trade pick number 2 for JJ McCarthy. But what about the Giants are the 4th pick and Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are gone? What about if worst case scenario happens and the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles and they fall to the number 9 pick in the 2025 NFL draft? Then yeah, I would entertain the idea of trading for JJ McCarthy. If the Giants are picking in the draft and Cam Ward is gone and Shedeur Sanders are gone, yeah, I am interested in trading for JJ McCarthy. Still just 21 years old. And a quarterback that I liked throughout the draft process. If all these quarterbacks were in the same class, Ward, McCarthy, and Sanders, I would rank them as such. I would have Cam Ward above JJ, then I would have JJ, and then I would have Sanders. Ward, McCarthy, Sanders. If all of those quarterbacks were in the same class, that is how I would rank them. But Marshall, there is no way Joe Shane, who passed on J.J. McCarthy at 6, would then go back and trade pick 4 or 5 for him. You sure about that? Are you also sure that Joe Shane's going to be the guy in charge of making the pick? Because what I have heard is John Mara is not sure if Joe Shane is the guy anymore after Sunday. Look, yes, I would entertain the idea of making a trade for J.J. McCarthy if and only if Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are gone. I understand, but Marshall, he's got a knee injury. He'll be okay. He could bounce back from a meniscus. But Marshall, he's got 1 less year in his rookie contract. If I walk out of a draft with a quarterback that I think could be a franchise quarterback, I don't care, because it's just like drafting him in the 2nd round, only 4 years on the contract. The whole idea is not to have to pay him a year later, not to have to pass on him 1 year and get him the next year. You know what the idea and the main philosophy and what you would want to do at the quarterback position, get the best guy for the job. And if you think JJ McCarthy is that guy, whoever the GM is, I would be okay with doing it because I want the best quarterback that the Giants can get. If it's McCarthy, do it. If it's Cam Ward, do it. If it's Shedeur Sanders, do it. Do I love trading pick 6, pick 4, pick 9 for him? No. But I also didn't love winning against the Indianapolis Colts. And in life, you got to play the fucking cards that you've been dealt. And it might just be having to make a trade for a quarterback like JJ McCarthy. What do you think? Should the Giants trade for JJ McCarthy if Ward and Sanders are gone? If Ward and Sanders are gone, should the Giants trade for JJ McCarthy? I think they're going to bring back Sam Darnold. I think they might go to the Super Bowl. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. We're going to answer questions from subscribers the rest of the way. Shout out to my man Jay Liv, $5 super chat. Worst case scenario if the Giants stay at the 4th pick. Worst case scenario is Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are gone. I'm not sure that there is a worst case scenario pick because if 2 quarterbacks go in the top 3, that means a guy like Mason Graham, Will Johnson, or Travis Hunter is going to be available. I don't know who the worst case scenario pick is. I mean, if you get out of the draft with Travis, if you walk out of the draft with Will Johnson or Mason Graham or shoot, even Tet McMillan, I'd be okay with that. Having McMillan and Neighbors as your 1 and 2 options. I don't think that there is a worst case scenario at pick 4. The worst case scenario is you don't get to draft Ward or Sanders. That's the worst case scenario. We're going to get to more questions in a second. First, though, I got to give a major shout out to our proud sponsor, Gametime, the best ticketing app there is. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. You get to see your seat view in the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone. It's easy to resell your tickets as well. I've used Gametime a handful of times. I've gone to NBA games. I've gone to college football games. I've gone to concerts. I've gone to NFL games. And I continue to plan to use it because it is the best app out there. And if you use that promo code ChatSports, you get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description. So, create an account after you download the app. Use the promo code ChatSports, ChatSports, for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Rob Jiggle, what up, man? Appreciate the super chat. Says, I stopped by yesterday. Hope you guys saw me briefly in the chat. Who is now QB3? Just in case as plan B. This got me worried. Still hoping we end up with Ward. Yeah, Cam Ward has been my dream pick. He remains my dream pick. Who do I think is QB3 in the draft? I think Jalen Milroe is the consensus QB3 in this class. I know some people really like Jackson Dart. I know some people like Quinn Ewers. I got to do more tape study on Dart and more tape study on Ewers. But from my understanding across league circles is Jalen Milroe is QB3. Jalen Hyatt, what up, dog? Can we please get Hunter and Fields and play Hyatt? There's a world where Travis Hunter's a New York Giant. There's a world that Justin Fields is a New York Giant. Now, playing Jalen Hyatt, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think you're going to need a new coach. I don't think Brian Dable's a Jalen Hyatt fan. Dolphin Storm, what up, bro? If we do fire both, do you think the next GM will actually go for QB in 2025 or wait for 2026 for Nico or possibly Arch? It's a great question. And I would hope that if you hire a new GM, he doesn't feel pressure from John Mara to go get the quarterback. Because I do think there is pressure on Joe Shane to go get the quarterback if he stays, because he's GMing for his job. But if you get a new GM, I'm okay with waiting for a quarterback. If that means it's not Ward or Sanders. If Ward or Sanders is on the board and you could take him, take him. But I don't want you reaching or overpaying. There's a deal worth making, and then there's a deal worth not overpaying for. Two major different things. I hope that the new GM, if there is one, doesn't feel the pressure that no matter what, he's got to move up. Whether it's Nico, whoever it is, I can't worry about the 2026 draft right now. I'm still in shambles about 2025, and we're still 5 months away. Tom from Tom's River. I know taking a shot at Shane is like cutting off your nose to spite your face, but are we sure it was Mara that forced the contract, not Shane? I think that John Mara made it clear that he wants Daniel Jones here. I also think Joe Shane thought it was a good idea to sign him. But I do think there was pressure. And there was pressure. There was also pressure, though, from Mara to sign Barkley, and Joe Shane stood up to him and said no. But I do think there was a mutual agreement. That's probably the best case scenario for the Giants to pay Daniel Jones what they did. I don't know for sure, though, so I can't give you a strong answer. I do know that Mara wanted him back, and Joe Shane was the GM. And I also think that he signed off on it. J Sports Cards, would you take a chance on Mac Jones as a bridge? I think there's better bridge quarterbacks out there. He is on the list, though. He is on the list. Cutie C Quad. What up, C Quad? Do you like the idea of trading the number 4 pick for 2 firsts this year and trading pick 4 to a team that has 2 picks? Is there any team that has 2 picks in 2025? I don't know. Yeah, maybe you mean a future first-round pick. Look, if Shedeur Sanders and Jalen Milroe if Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are not on the board at pick 4, yeah, I'm entertaining the idea of trading down. I am. I absolutely am. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, @MarshallGreen_. Give me a follow, and let's go Giants.